New Zealand 172 for 8, Mitchell 62, Bracewell 59, Binura 2-22, beat Sri Lanka 164 for 8, Nissanka 90, Mendes 46, Duffy 3-21, by 8 runs. It was a heist for the ages in Mount Maunganui as New Zealand secured an 8-run win in the first T20I, and with it took a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. But more importantly, it was a lesson in fight from the hosts, one the visitors would do well to take note of. Advertisement. For much of the game it had looked Sri Lanka's to lose. The first instance was when New Zealand were reeling on 65 for 5 midway through their innings, and the second when Sri Lanka were cruising after a 121-run opening stand needing just 52 of 40 deliveries. On both occasions New Zealand fought back, and hard, initially through a 105-run stand between Daryl Mitchell and Michael Bracewell to post a competitive 172 for 8, and then finally through a late strangle that saw Sri Lanka lose 8 wickets for 38 runs after being in total control of proceedings. Jacob Duffy was at the heart of the collapse with a 3-wicket 14th over, as he set the wheels in motion for a sterling New Zealand comeback, which also earned him the Player of the Match award. Sri Lanka though will be at a loss for words in attempting to explain how they let this game slip. A collapse for the ages. Sri Lanka thought they had done enough, and by all accounts they had. A 121-run opening stand in chase of 173 would in most cases have been more than enough. After all, when Kusal Mendes fell for a brisk 46, Sri Lanka needed only another 52 runs off 40 deliveries with 9 wickets in hand. Sure, 3 balls later that equation changed to 52 needed with 7 wickets in hand, after Duffy had made sure Kusal Perera and Kamindu Mendes followed Kusal to the dressing room. But, surely not. Nerves were eased a bit as Charit Asalanka joined Patham Nissanka in the middle to chip away. But when he fell with 28 still required off 16, more doubts crept in. And then when Matt Henry removed Nissanka and Bhanuka Rajapaksa in the span of a few deliveries, all doubt was removed. Sri Lanka needed 19 of 8, but only Wanindu Hasaranga could be counted on to strike the boundaries needed. Hasaranga being run out without facing a ball in the final over summed up Sri Lanka's disastrous end to the game. Binura leads Sri Lanka's early charge. Mitchell Santner had been concerned about a green tinge on the surface having been put into bat, and after the first 10 overs his concerns seemed warranted as New Zealand had stumbled to 65 for 5. Patham Nissanka got the chase off to a fast start. Getty Images. Pinura Fernando, playing his first T20I in 9 months, proved the most effective of Sri Lanka's 3-seamers despite never clocking more than 130 km per hour. He showed admirable control and found consistent movement in the air despite bowling mostly on a good length or slightly further back. The wickets of Tim Robinson and Rachin Ravindra were just rewards, and he might have had another had Charit Asalanka not spilled Mark Chapman at mid-off. Pinura's opening burst of 3 overs went for just 12 runs, before a Hasaranga double strike in the 10th over really rammed home Sri Lanka's early dominance. Mitchell and Bracewell counter brutally. If the first half of the innings belonged to Sri Lanka, the second was well and truly New Zealand's. After a couple of overs treading water, Bracewell signalled his intent to shift gears with a pair of boundaries off Mahesh Theekshana in the 14th, before unloading on an off-colour Matisha Patirana an over later, a flick 6 into the grass banks and a monster loft over wide long off the highlights in a 22-run over. Bracewell's power was on total display from then on as Hasaranga and Binura were also both taken for maximums over the next few overs. And there would be no respite for Sri Lanka at the other end either, as Mitchell struck in lockstep with his partner, the pair even bringing up their respective 50s of consecutive deliveries. In total, 107 runs were struck between overs 10 to 20, with 85 of those coming off the 6-over period from 13 to 19. Only an excellent final over from Theekshana, where 3 wickets fell for just 3 runs ensured New Zealand were kept below 180. Patirana's off day. 4 overs for 60 runs and a solitary wicket marked a bad day at the office for Patirana, but it's the 3 no balls, and subsequent free hits, that will no doubt have Sri Lanka's coaching staff pulling their hair out. That one of those accounted for the wicket of Mitchell, when he was on 8, will be particularly grating. Patirana also struggled with identifying an effective length, constantly bowling fuller than ideal, surprising considering the success Binura had had by hitting the deck harder, not to mention the success Patirana himself has had with similar lengths in the past.